Hi, my name is Merrie, and I work for Focus on the Family Canada. I'm one of the directors at Kerith Retreats. That's a week-long retreat for ministry leaders where they can catch their breath and return home with a new perspective on the challenges they're facing. Well, it's the new year. I love to look ahead. Some of us have resolved to spend more time at the gym or to eat healthier. And while I would encourage those things, I also want to challenge you to consider adding some ideas that will help you grow spiritually. Sometimes we refer to those things as spiritual disciplines. But if you're like me, that word discipline already has a negative connotation. So I was delighted when I came across this quote from Sharon Garlow Brown. She says spiritual disciplines aren't rules or laws to follow, but rather tools that give God space to do the work He wants to do in our lives. One of those disciplines is solitude. So what actually is solitude? Well, it's setting time aside to be alone with God and making space for Him to have free and easy access to our hearts. For those of you that aren't sure that solitude is all that important in your busy life, one author asked this provoking question: do I have enough time being with God to sustain my doing for God? Even if you're convinced that solitude is important, it can be a very difficult discipline to add to your life. In a series of studies published by Science magazine, researchers gave their subjects a choice to sit alone with your thoughts for 10 to 15 minutes or give yourself an electric shock. 1/4 of the women and 2/3 of the men actually chose the electric shock. So why would that be? Why is it so hard for us to spend time alone with God? I think there are probably a lot of different reasons for that. I've heard people say, well, I wasn't sure that solitude was actually accomplishing anything, so I just stopped doing it. If that's you, be encouraged. One author wrote this: solitude will do its good work in our lives whether we're aware of it or not, because most of what happens in solitude happens underneath the surface. So make no mistake, God is working there. Someone else suggested that we may be afraid to be alone with our thoughts because it would mean facing up to our own fears, our own sin, our own grief, and our disappointments. So we simply avoid it. If perhaps that's you today, you're not alone. I know that feeling too. And yet, when I've made time for God and solitude in my life, God meets me right there. He gives me faith for my fear, grace for my failure, and comfort for my disappointments. And I know He wants to do the same for you as well. So why don't you take the challenge this year and incorporate solitude into your life? You're going to be amazed at the difference it will make. If you need prayer today, Focus on the Family Canada is here for you. You can call us at 1-800-661-9800, and someone would be so happy to pray with you. God bless you today.